The Messenger, bringing horror to life.
The Hatman, by Crimes and Ghosts, on Paranormal Encounters from Reddit. My sister-in-law lived in a small apartment by herself with her newborn son. She walked into my nephew's room one night and saw a black figure, a person, with a wide-brimmed hat at the head of his crib. She grabbed my nephew and ran outside. She called my father-in-law, who was a police officer and a medicine man with the Cherokee Nation. I think medicine man is the right term. He performed weddings, blessings, etc. He came over and looked through the apartment, not finding anything. So he had my sister-in-law go and stay at their house. The next day after his shift, he went to do a blessing on their apartment. He asked if I could go with him, but I was unable to take the time off work. He called my wife later that night and said that everything was going good until he got to the bedroom. He felt like someone was in the room with him, and fear washed over him as he was doing the blessing. This is a man who's won bodybuilding competitions and was a police officer at the height of the gang violence in our town. He said he was terrified, but he held strong and finished the blessing. I don't know what the ritual he performed was, or what it entails, but he said my sister-in-law moved back in with him after they got everything out of that apartment and never went back. I encountered the Hatman by yllmnstk on Reddit. I encountered him about 10 years ago. For context, I was experiencing sleep paralysis at the time, and was going through a rough time mentally, getting sober. I fell asleep watching TV on my parents' sofa and experienced sleep paralysis. He was standing there at the bottom of the sofa and didn't feel great. Menacing atmosphere at the time. I was not aware of the Hatman phenomenon, but recognized him after reading about sleep paralysis years later. Above the sofa where I was sleeping, my parents had a painting that their friend did years ago. I had a strong feeling that the Hatman was interested in this painting, and was some sort of art collector. I didn't know if he was, or in my dreaming mind, rationalizing his presence. I'm also open to this just being about sleep paralysis, but it was distinctly the Hatman, big shadow figure, wide brimmed hat, and like I said, I didn't know about him before this episode. I had heard that him and other shadow people are kind of driven to negative energy, particularly addiction, which is interesting given that what I was coming out of at the time, and had some other interesting sleep paralysis encounters involving addiction, very possible just stress dreams, mentally unwell addict, but creepy nonetheless. But the Hatman episode was different. I was clean and sober, and I never saw him again. Has anyone else had encounters with the Hatman by Purple-Supernova on Paranormal Encounters from Reddit? As long as I can remember, I've seen an abnormally tall shadow person wearing a top hat. I've seen him inside my house, outside of school, and even at other people's houses. Sightings include seeing him briefly popping out from behind a tree or building outside in broad daylight, and a couple of times while using the restroom at school. I've only seen his feet standing outside the closed stall door. Even in the light, he has no features, just pure darkness, like a black paper cutout of a person. I mostly see him inside though. He sometimes stands there behind the bedroom door, and sometimes paces up and down the hallway by night, several times while passing a mirror or other reflective surfaces. I can just barely catch a glimpse of him following closely behind me in my reflection. But when I spin around, there's no one there. This isn't an everyday thing, just often enough that I can't discount it as something in my eye or catching something completely normal in my peripheral vision. And another thing is, I'm not the least bit frightened of him. He doesn't have a threatening aura, at least more of a sense of curiosity maybe. I've read about the phenomenon, and others seen the Hatman. Many describe a dreadful feeling when they see him. I've never felt that, not even as a child. I was was just wondering how widespread the encounters are with this entity, or whatever it is. Edit. I forgot to add that it follows me to several houses, wherever I move. I'm an adult now, and I've seen him here, but no one else in my family has. Except for me. I've decided to list some of the instances where I've seen him. This is by no means a complete list, just a few things that I can remember off the top of my head. I clearly remember him standing against the wall behind the door of my bedroom at night, for a time. I was still in a toddler bed. He would just watch me, and sometimes he would walk out the door and up and down the hallway and be gone. Other times I would fall asleep while he's still standing there. I saw him outside many times as a child. I recall playing with my dog and throwing a ball towards the woods that lined our backyard. And as I watched my dog run for the ball, I would see him standing at the very edge of the trees. Another instance, I was playing in a wading pool with a friend, about 5 or 6 years in age, and I saw him, just his upper body, poking around the side of the house, watching me. I saw him at my elementary school while I was sitting on a swing set during recess, and again, just his upper body peering around the side of a tree. Twice. I remember using the restroom at school and seeing just his feet underneath the stall door, as if it was just someone waiting for me to finish. I never heard anyone come in, and he wasn't there when I opened the door. Another time I was passing the gym and glanced in, and he was just standing there in the middle of the empty gym, watching me pass by. I saw him at my friend's house, standing in the doorway, watching us play with dolls. Once I came out of the bathroom at my grandmother's house, and he was just standing at the end of the hall. I seen him on the mirror a lot too. I've been lying in bed reading a book, and seen him walk by the open bedroom door a few times. I came out of the bedroom and seen him standing in my daughter's room across the hall. I specifically remember one time when I thought my daughter saw him too, but she was just too young to talk. I had her in the bathtub, and half turned to reach for the baby shampoo behind me. I saw him out of the corner of my eye, and when I finally turned to face him, he slowly backed out of the room without making a sound, and almost as if he was gliding, not walking. This was in the middle of the day under a bright bathroom light. My daughter's eyes followed him as well. There are many more occurrences, but this list is long enough already. He's not scary at all, and he's never tried to interact with me or touch me. This is not sleep paralysis. I was fully awake and engaging with other people during the same time as these instances.
If you enjoyed the Chill Down Your Spine, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more eerie tales that will haunt you. Until next time, keep your lights on and your doors locked, and sweet dreams, or rather nightmares. I'll see you in the shadows, and remember, don't shoot the messenger.